Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a makeup tutorial video. I haven't done one of these for a couple of weeks, so I thought I would do it. I've had quite a few messages, private messages, ask me about this makeup look, and I've had some comments in on my YouTube videos, I'm on Instagram as well, so I thought I would do it. This is my everyday sort of YouTube makeup look. I might change my lip colour a little bit, or I might change the actual colour of the eyeshadow, but the wing, my eyebrows, face makeup, and usually a dark lip, it's my signature sort of look. So this is the type of look that you would see me wearing often on my channel, and a few of you would love to know how I do it and to talk about the products I use as well. So that's what this video is going to be. So I hope you enjoy watching everything related to what I use and previous videos, because some of the products that I use I've done reviews on in the last year or two, so I'll seek them out and I'll link them down below as well. So click on the show more, that will bring up the description, and everything related to this video will be down there. So yeah, so I hope you enjoy watching. So I've done all my skincare and I've just got two little bits left to apply onto my face before I start my makeup. But loving my new headgear here. I normally wear a scarf. The next step in my face is I'm going to put a little bit of this Supernova Celestial Skin Elixir by Flower Beauty in it. So that looks like this. This is the Drew Barrymore beauty product range, and it's lovely, really nice. I've been using it nearly every day, to be honest. My skin at the moment is not the best, what with overeating, over drinking regularly, alcohol now, not to the point where I get drunk or nothing like that, but just like having a glass of wine here, glass of wine there, some vodka, some Bloody Marys is a little bit more excessive over the Christmas period than it is compared to any other period of the year. And yeah, it just takes it out my face. I notice when I'm editing videos, my face is more, so I find that this just gives me that little bit of a perk me up. So I just rub it in my hands and then I just pat it onto my skin, mainly around the outside areas of my face. Now this looks glittery. When you look at it, it looks glittery, but it's not. It sort of melts onto your skin and it just gives you that sort of glowy, not glue, glowy, sort of dewy look. Because my pores aren't looking the greatest at the moment, I'm just going to put some pore refining primer on my nose. I'm using, it's a little sample it is, I got it in a Smashbox order a long while ago, but it's the Photo Finish Foundation Primer and it's the Pore Minimizer. So I'm just putting, I don't know how much is left, this is brilliant, I love this one. So just putting a blob on my hand like that, I'm not sure if you can see. Dab it onto my nose, mainly my T-zone, so nose, chin, and there, and then just using this brush, which is lovely, it's nice and soft. It's a Zoeva 122 Petite Stippling brush. I just find that it blends in much nicer than using your fingers. Just blend that all in, cover up my pores as much as possible. So I'm using Too Faced Born This Way foundation. Absolutely love it. Medium to full coverage, it's buildable, it gives a dewy finish and perfect for if you're around my age, in your 40s, and you've got a few fine lines coming, bit of dryness on the skin maybe. My skin is normal to combination normally, but I am at the moment, I'd say, normal to dry. It changes with each season, but I find this foundation to be really lovely. It's long lasting, it sort of blends into your skin, and even after like an hour or two of wearing, it looks better. It looks better the longer it's on, you know, that sort of foundation that just blends. I love it, I love it. But it's a little bit too dark. I do want a lighter one, but this is light beige, so it's a little bit too dark for me now, so I'm going to be mixing it with my favourite drugstore type foundation, and this is L'Oreal Paris, and this is the Infallible Pro Glow in shade 202. Now I've done videos, foundation reviews on both these foundations, so I'll link them down below if you're interested to see in more in-depth what they're like on my skin. But yeah, they're nice and glowy, which is what I want. I'm also using a Nancy Beauty blending sponge. I've just dampened it down so it's nice and cold and ready to go on my face. So I'm just blending it into my hand. Hand looks gorgeous. Don't know why I did that. I never do. I never normally do that. I normally put it on my face. Never mind. Right, let's get some life into the skin. Woo. So that's given me like a medium, a light to medium coverage. I'm not going to go any more than this. if I was going out for the night and I wanted something to look amazing, long lasting all night, then I would go for another layer just to build the coverage up a bit, but I'm quite happy with that. You can see I've got broken capillaries shining through, but I'll put some concealer on now and that'll help that. Using Maybelline Eraser Eye in Ivory, I think it's Ivory, yep. Put that down there and a little bit on my cheeks because that's where I've got the broken capillaries. A little bit there. Redness, it's where I've got a bit of redness really. What I really want to get is It Cosmetics, I think it's Red No More, Pore No More, Red, I can't remember what it is. Basically it's a little pot and it's a colour correcting cream and it's to counteract redness on the skin. Now I've got quite a bit of redness in my cheeks and I don't want to wear really thick foundation to cover it up. What I notice is that when I do my bronzer, my highlight and my blush, it can look all really nice and everything, but then I turn to the side and it looks like I've blobbed it all the way down here, but it's not, it's just because the redness is coming through underneath. So I want to try this It Cosmetics cream to see what that's like. I watch a makeup artist called Stephanie Lang. Brilliant channel. Her makeup isn't all to my taste, but I love seeing her reviews and I love seeing new products that she's using and things like that, and she's been using it and yeah, it seems to be really, really good. Expensive, you only get a tiny pot, but it's something I definitely want to try this year to see if that will help. And it covers up broken capillaries really well apparently, so yeah. I do prefer Tarte Shape Tape. I just find it's a little bit heavier, and because now that I'm getting a little bit older, I'm noticing that my under eyes are a little bit darker than what they used to be, and I find just a tiny bit of Tarte Shape Tape is wonderful, and yeah, it's good. Maybelline is okay, it's my go-to if I can't have any sharp Tarte concealer, but it doesn't, when I look at myself, it's like, it doesn't cover up that well, but it does lighten it up a little bit, and yeah, so it's fine. I do look a bit more alive, so which is the main aim of this makeup look anyway. So now on to setting a bit. So using a Rimmel Instafix setting powder, it's translucent powder, just a big fluffy brush. I just swirl it over a little bit and then dab it, and I just set my eyes like this. This soft. I'm talking backwards. This brush is super soft. It's, what is it? It's a Vintage Cosmetics company. It's a bronzing brush. But if you've followed me for a while on my channel, you know that I don't pay no attention to what is written on the brushes. I just use them for what I think would suit me. So yeah, so a slight dusting on my eyes just to set it, mainly on my eyebrows, because as you can tell I've got hardly any eyebrows, so I like to create a natural thick looking eyebrow, but it needs to have a really matte base, because if it doesn't, the products will just slide off my face. So that's what I'm doing, and then without adding any more, I'm just doing my T-zone. Going back to an old favourite, this is L'Oreal Paris Back to Bronze. Amazing, amazing products. The whole set is, I've still got them here, and a highlighter as well. I've been using them for April, since April I've been using this. But yeah, this is a powder brush, and it's 106 Zoeva. Just start, I'm not going to bother contouring, just a little bit of bronze up the tops. If you see me looking to the side of you, it's because I've got a little viewfinder, so I'm just making sure that my face is in the middle of the screen. I can't see, I can see my outline, but I need glasses so I can sort of see what I'm doing, but I can't, there's no way I'll be able to do an eyeshadow look using that, unless it was right up here. So yeah, just giving my face a little bit of colour. Tend to only do a bit of a contour. Again, if I'm going for more of a glam look, if I'm going out to a special meal, night out, something like that. Otherwise, I just stick to a little bit of bronze and yeah, blush and a bit of highlight. As a highlight, I'm using this Laura Geller New York. I can't remember where I got it from. I got it in a subscription box. Is it Glossy Box? I'm not too sure now. Or a Birch Box maybe. This is the Baked Gelato Swirl in Gilded Honey. So using a Zoeva 105 Luxe highlighting brush, swirl it onto the tops of my cheeks. I don't like anything glittery or super shimmery. I like my highlighters to look like I'm wet, like a dewy glow. and I find it just makes this whole area here, because this is where the fine lines shine up, and I'm lucky so far. I don't have many, or they don't stick out anyway, but obviously I know that the older I get they are going to start coming. But like dewy sort of glistening type ones, they just look much nicer. I mean, highlight's going to show up texture, it's going to show up your lines, it's going to show up absolutely everything on your skin. So it depends on what your skin type's like. But for me personally, I stay away from the super glittery, shimmery, holographic ones, because they just, yeah, they just don't look nice at all. Tiny bit just above my eyebrows there. Then using Pixie by Petra, it's a blush, it's called, what is it called? Beach Rose. Oh, I'm using a Real Techniques, and this is an actual blush brush. So I'm just going to slightly swirl that just at the tops there, just to lift my face a little bit. And then I'm going to blend it all in, which I know some people think, what? But it's just me, I just like doing that. So going back to the very first brush that I used with the translucent powder, I'm just going over all my face really lightly, very lightly, but sort of blend it all in together. I find by doing this, and then after I finish my makeup, put in a load of setting spray. It is a particular setting spray that works this well for me. It is MAC, it costs about £17, but it does last months and months and months. But put in a good few sprays all over my face, and my face is soaking wet, but once it's all dried down and everything, it does look so youthful and glowy and dewy, and it's sort of, the makeup just all blends in nicely together. So that's what I like. So yeah, so that's quite a natural looking base, nothing too harsh. Now onto my eyebrows. So because my eyebrows take a while to do, I'm going to show you the products that I use, and then you'll see me applying the products bit by bit, but I won't be talking you through it, because I've had a few of you ask for a video on how to create natural looking brows on eyebrows that are virtually not there. So I am going to be doing a video with a more in-depth talk about that. So I'll just show you the products that I'm going to use. Here they are. I've got Chanel, I've got MAC, I've got Benefit, and I've got BBB London. So not cheap brands, but amazing. Really good, long lasting, amazing products. I've done videos on the MAC, and I've done video on the BBB London, which I'll link down below as well. Oops, daisy. But I've been using these now for months, and nearly every single makeup video I do, you will see me using these. Now I start off, this is a new thing for me. Normally I would have a Benefit Goof Proof, which I'll show you. It's a little Benefit Goof Proof. I like to buy the minis, £10, and this is in shade 3, so it's a nice nib there. Ooh, if you can see. So very similar to the Chanel one. I find this one a little bit softer. This is in shade 804 Blonde. So I'm not blonde, I like my eyebrows to be dark but not super dark, but I find because I fill my eyebrows in first, so I create like a shadow base, so I have an idea of where to apply like the little hairs and stuff for the rest of these, and I find going in for a blonde one is perfect. It gives me that background base I can work from easily. I got this in a recent cohorted box. I think it cost about £20, but I would definitely consider buying it again. Never in my life I thought I would buy Chanel products, but it is good. You've got a spoolie on one end, which you can see, a little brush, and exactly the same as the Goof Proof, but I think the formula is slightly better, and the shade is nice as well. I know I could go down the shade with the Goof Proof into the shade 2, and I might do that actually to compare the both, because yeah, be interesting. So I start off with this first. So next then I go in with the Benefit Precisely My Brow. This again shade 3, costs £10 mini. This is tiny. Now this is my wonder product for my eyes. This, well no, they all are. I think without them, no, my brows wouldn't be my brows that you see on my videos. But no, honestly, because it's such a small, tiny nib, it's a hard pencil, so you're able to create a good outline. I use it mainly for underneath and creating a thicker tail, and it looks quite natural. I don't mind my tail being filled in more, obviously because I've got no hair there, but I like this part to be quite fluffy looking and quite natural. So using this pencil I can make it a more defined arch, more defined tail, so that's what I use then. and then I brush through. Then I go into, oh, this is amazing. It is amazing. Absolutely love it. It's a MAC, and I've rubbed it all off. I keep doing this now. It's in shade Fling, so one of the lighter colours, but it's a Shape and Shade brow tint. So on one end, it's like a fine liner pen. Exactly like a fine liner pen. So you create, or I create, little strokes just in the corners there, and yeah, it's just nice and soft. On this end then, I never use this, but it's like a powder. You could use that first, but I never use it. But I've had this now for months and months, and it's still going strong, so I love that. So once my eyebrows are looking great, normally I would put like a setting gel onto them. But since I found this product, I don't need setting gel anymore. It's a fibre build gel, and it's in shade Cinnamon. No, it's not. I bought one in Cinnamon, but it's slightly too dark for me, because once I've done my eyebrows, I don't want to darken them up any further. So I went for Chai, which is the lightest one. It's recommended for blonde-haired people. So it just creates a thicker, fuller, bushier eyebrow, and it stays put. If I brush my eyebrows right up, it'll stay right up, and I absolutely love it. So enough of me talking, let's show you what I do to my eyebrows. So starting off with a Chanel first. There, can you see the difference? It's just giving me a base to work from. Now when I brush that all through, it'll soften it a little bit more, but there's a huge difference, but it's not harsh. It's not harsh, which is what I like. Now onto Precisely My Brow to carve the underneath out a little bit more. Now onto the MAC liner. Final brush through. Now the BBB London Brow Gel Build. So that's my eyebrows done. Now onto the eyeshadow. So for this, the most important part of the look is to create a really pale base, and the best eyeshadow for a base by far is in this palette. I prefer more of a rose tone, more like a pinky tone. Not necessarily in your face pink, but you wouldn't look at it and think, oh, it's pink. It just looks like a beige colour, but it has got a slight pinky undertone to it, and I find that just creates just a nice soft looking base. Too white and it can look too dramatic, too harsh. Too beige, it can look non-existent. So you want something that's pale, but something that is not too harsh, and yeah, this one is perfect. What is it? It's called Hotspot in the Urban Decay Naked Cherry palette, and if Urban Decay did that separately, I would love it. I would buy it in bulk loads, so I haven't had a look actually. They might well do it. So using a Eco Tools brush, it's just a little flat brush, quite a thick flat brush. I'm just going to apply that all over my lids, just by patting it onto my skin. All over, right in the corner there, and loads on the top there. So you can see that it's instantly brightened up that eye area quite a bit. So I'm just going to do the other side. Now for this look, I'm going to be using a Wet n Wild palette that a friend of mine, a YouTuber called Lucy Pertface, she gave it to me for Christmas. And yeah, some of the colours are really nice. We've got a transition colour, which I'll be using first. Whoop, if I can show you that one. And then I'll be using, which one is it? It's more like a, yeah, I'll go in with this one, the darker one for the crease, but I will slightly put a little bit of a shimmer into it, so I'll be going up to this one. These look quite dark, but I don't want to create a dark eye look, because I want the eye to be more, when you look at the eye, I want it to be like quite strong eyebrows and a big wing and lashes. The eyeshadow is just a shadow. That is what, if that makes sense. It's just going to be shading my eye area a little bit. So yeah, I'm going to be using those colours. So to start with that transition colour right at the top there, I'm using a massive fluffy brush, and it's by Morphe, and it's the M504. So I'm just start by very lightly circular motions, not touching the bottom of my lid nor the top of my lid. I'm aiming for the middle. I'm just swirling motions just in the middle there, just going from one side to the other, going up until just the top of my brow bone there, but not going any higher. So just fill in that middle part there. It's just giving me a little bit of a shading in there, so I'm going to do the other side. So using a darker transition shade down the bottom here, I'm using a Beauty Big Bang, and it's just a little fluffy brush. I'm just going to slightly, only slightly darken up just that corner here. So start by blobbing it onto my skin, keeping my eyes open at all times because I haven't got hooded eyes as such, but they are drooping. They are coming. I will be getting hooded eyes at some point in my life. So I want to be able to see exactly where I'm placing, because if I shut my eyes, I can create like a guide down here, but when I open my eyes, you're not going to see it. So I need to have my eyes open so I can see exactly where it is. The placement needs to be exactly where that droop starts, so that's where the shadow is. So I just, as you can see, I've just got a blob, a little blob there, so I'm just slightly moving it over, and I'll blend it out with another brush. Tiny little movements, little strokes, following that line there. So it's only subtle. You can see it, but I'll be blending it out a little bit more. So same here. Using a Sigma tapered blending brush, E35. I'm just going to blend that out a little bit. Circular motions very lightly. Just blending it, softening it then. Creating a little bit of a triangle sort of shape in the direction that I'm blending it, if that makes sense. There, so you can see that it's a little bit softer than this one, so onto this one. Then using a Morphe, it's a M332 brush, a little fluffy brush. I'm just going to add a slight bit of colour, and it's got a little bit of a shimmer in it, and it's the pinky one here. Now I don't normally do this, but sometimes it can lift a colour, and I wanted to use this sort of colour, but ideally I would go for a matte here, not a shimmer. But I'm only going to apply a little bit, and that is basically on top of where I've applied that darker, but just more so on the top of it, just to add that little bit of a flash of colour coming through there. Not in the inner corners here, just here. Bringing it down and across. Then can you see the difference between that one and that one? There. Blow away any eyeshadow. So that's the basic eyeshadow look. Me talking through it is obviously taking a lot longer, but normally when I do this sort of look on my eye, it's done in a minute or so, quick. You don't have to concentrate a lot on blending. Blending is there to soften it, but because you're not creating like a dramatic eye look, it's just to soften the edges and to add a little bit of colour so there's no harshness, no harsh lines or anything. So it's just a little bit of shading ready to put the black eyeliner on, which is what I'm going to do next. So I've got a few with me, so I'm going to try this one. I haven't used it before, but it's Bourjois and it's a black one and it's Liner Feutre. That's what that looks like there. So it's a fine liner. I sometimes use gels, but I tend to use liquid eyeliners like this. So I start off by creating a line on top of my lids, and quite an even line to start with. And I try and get as thin a line as possible in the inner corners, and then I do tend to go a little bit thicker as I go along, but then I stop on either eye when I get to the corners, and then I start to create the wings. So you see what I'll be doing. Instead of drawing the line on like this, I use the side of the brush, because the longer the brush the better. And this one's all right. It's one of the smaller nibs I've used, but that's fine. But I use it and I press it on my lids like this, and then I use the point then to create more of a definite line then, because I've got a little bit of crinkle on my eyelids. Sometimes it can look a little bit like, I don't know, wobbly, so using the nib then to draw in the excess or liner that you need helps, but initially I just do it sideways. So yeah, so let's do it. So that's one eye done, so on to the next one. So that's the other one done. By using the pen sideways, you can really get in to your eyelashes. I've done them, it's onto the wings now. And this is the really hard bit. When I was 20 years ago, I used to go whoosh, whoosh, no problem whatsoever. And I used to be able to do tiny little ones and long ones really quick. Yeah, now I can't. It takes me forever. Sometimes I am lucky, so I'm hoping today that I am going to do it quite quick. So I look at the corner of my eyes and I look at the corner of the tail end of my eyebrow. So I think, right, okay, that is where I'm aiming for. I don't pull my skin like this because when you let go, the crinkles set in and it's all over the place. I do a little line there first and I went, right then, little line here. But because our eyes aren't 100% symmetrical, the eye shape could be slightly different from each other. Your eyebrows could be slightly longer one end than the other. All those little minute things that doesn't really stand out would make you to think, what the heck is going on when I'm doing my lines or my flicks? But yeah, it does affect it. So I do a little bit at a time. So I start off always with this eye. I don't know why, always this eye. So let's start off. So I want to lift my eye a little bit, but not like pull it up like that. I'm drawing a guide, that's what I'm doing. I'm finding that this isn't good for doing flicks, and I'll explain in a minute. Hold on. It's okay for the tops or main lashes, but actually using it on the outer corners, it's a little bit dry. I need more liquid, so I'm going to use another one. Back to my favourite, it's Soap and Glory. You can buy it in Boots. It's £6.50. Just, yeah, brilliant eyeliner. Yeah, instantly a lot better. It's just more liquid. Thickness isn't important. This one is a lot thicker than this one. It's just getting the wings, the lines to be symmetrical. That's not too bad. Now for thickening them up. So I start by the outer corner and then I come in. I close my eyes for this. And I always stop around here because I want the inner corner to be thinner. So I always stop around just past halfway. So yeah, so that one's not looking too bad actually. Onto this one. So there, so not perfect, but sort of symmetrical. Yeah. It's hard because your eyes aren't perfect. Your eyes, you know, they're not exactly the same, and yeah, add a bit of crinkles in there and it is a bit of a nightmare. But that didn't take me too long, probably about 5 minutes maybe. I find by doing it bit by bit that it really helps, and it gives me more control what I'm doing. So if I make a line a little bit too thick, then it's fine. I can do the other line a little bit too thick. But yeah, when I was younger I used to be able to just go no problem. No problem. So we're all different and we all have our different ways of doing it. So what might work for you might not work for me, and vice versa. Again, to help the symmetrical look of the eyeliner, I tend to do a darker inner corner underneath my eye, so it gives the illusion like of a cat eye. And yeah, so if one wing looks a little bit thicker than the other, but it's not, but it's giving the illusion that it is, and all that stuff, then add in a little bit of dark smokiness just in the inner corners here. It just softens it and it just makes it look more even. I'll show you what I mean, but before I do that I'm going to be putting a bit of the eyeshadow that we used up here just underneath. So back to the Wet n Wild palette. I think I'm going to start with the Beauty Big Bang. I'm just going to see how much shadow is on the brush, and I just might use that to go underneath. So this is the darker one. Just very lightly, very lightly, just using whatever's on the brush. Going about 3/4 of the way. There, that's giving me a little bit of a shadow. So using the purple up here. Woo, can you see it? Just a tiny bit. On a Zoeva 228 brush again. Just a tiny bit. Just a little bit of colour underneath. Adds a little pop of colour that's a little bit different to the rest of the eye look. And I love doing this, using a completely different colour that you've used and just adding a tiny bit just underneath. I think it just makes the whole look just ping, gives it a bit more of an edgy modern look to it. So now I want to do an inner corner highlight, and I've got a Brow FX, and it's a brow powder pen, and I was sent this as PR by the Beauty Hive. It's an online store and they sell Brow FX and Lash FX products, and they thought I might like to try some of their items, and I did. So this is what this looks like. So it's just a little highlighter pen, there's powder in the lid there. So just start in the middle I blend it inwards to the purple that I've just done, and then upwards there. So up and across, concentrating more like in the middle. Just using the Sigma brush I used above, so just lightly soften that and blend it together all the way underneath. So that's given me a bit of colour. I am going to use a black eyeliner pen now just to darken up the underneaths a little bit more. Using a Ciate London Wonderless Kohl Gel Liner. Recently got this in a glossy box. I'm going to be drawing on my lash line, but it's only a quarter of the way in. I am going to be blending it out to soften it, but it's going to be joining on from the wing to about a quarter of the way across. So just on my lash line. There, can you see how it connects to the wing? So if you have made a little bit of a mistake doing this, it just really helps. It just really helps to sharpen up that wing. So I'm going to soften that now. Sometimes I use my fingers, but I've got a little, I'll show you. So it's another eye pencil. It's by Technic. It's an eyeliner black pencil, but it's got one of these sort of spongy type applicators. So I'm just going to smudge that into my lash line. Being careful not to move it over because I don't want real darkness under my eyes. It's only the outer corners. If I put it too much underneath, then it can make my eyes appear a lot smaller than what they are. So I want to keep that darkness in the outer corners as much as possible, but I want to smoke it out a bit. So besides my mascara and fake eyelashes, I'm just going to apply a little bit of eyeliner on my waterline. I'm just using a white one. It's Rimmel London. Needs a good old sharpen, but it's okay. Got to be careful with white eyeliners. If you put too much on, it can make you appear a lot older than what you are. It's quite aging, but if you just put like a subtle line, it can really brighten up the whites of your eyes. So that's what I'm aiming to do. Just do a little bit of a subtle highlight on my rims. I'm trying carefully not to put it on the lash line because then you can see little bits of white, which is not good. So can you see a bit of a difference? It just brightens it up just a little bit. So next is mascara. I'm using Too Faced Better Than Sex, my favourite ever mascara. I normally get a little one, which is here. You can see the difference in size. These cost like £10 and I get them from Debenhams. They don't actually sell them in my Debenhams store, but I order online and then they send it to the store for free so I can pick it up. But I had Debenhams vouchers for Christmas or gift cards for Christmas, and I was desperate in need because this one needs to be chucked now. Can't get any more out of it, so I ended up buying the big one. But it's a bit of a difference in weight. This one's really heavy. I have had a big one before, but not for over a year, and yeah, it's different. So I'm going to just apply this to my top lashes and my bottom lashes. So the next thing is lipstick. So I've got a few things here. Now, whenever I wear these colours, the reds and burgundies, plums, I have a lot of you say that you really like it, and generally when I do this sort of eye makeup look, I do go for a darker, more dramatic lip, so I am going to be using one of these. My lips aren't the best at the moment. I have moisturised them, I've put some lip balm on, but yeah, so I'm using, it's a L'Oreal Paris lip scrub. I always do this if I'm wearing a dark shade, unless I'm in a hurry, and then I won't. But generally, if I want my lips to look really nice with darker colours, you can't get away with chapped lips. They just stand out and it looks so yeah, a lot of exfoliating. The one I'm going to be using is the Douce, or Douce I think it's called, and this is the one I got in, I think again from a subscription box, can't remember which one, but I think it was a December one, and this is in shade 405 Winterberry. Now this needs a good sharpen. My sharpener's broken, so I'm a bit stuck at the moment, but desperately need to get a new one. Hopefully I'll get one this week now, but yeah, I just like them. Pencil's really easy, really use a lip liner when I use these sort of lip crayon type things, so yeah, no, I love them. So let's apply that. So that's my lipstick done. So second to last thing is setting spray, and I apply this before I put my fake lashes on, just so that it doesn't affect the lash glue setting process and all that. So I'm using MAC Prep and Prime. This one is the gold lit one, so it's got little bits of gold particles. So I've been using this and I've been finding this really, really lovely. I've run out of the normal one, but I am going to get that soon. And I just find that it's not a long lasting setting spray. If you want makeup to last all day, then I would go for Urban Decay All Nighter. You can't go wrong with that. That is just like the best of the best setting spray, in my opinion anyway, for my face. But if you want like a really nice glowy dewy look that does make your makeup last, but it's not such a setting spray, it's more like a blend your makeup all together to make you look glowy and youthful sort of spray, then this is the one. Or the normal one, then you can get a pink lit, I think, so it's got pink undertones or particles to it, and this one's got gold. So I spray this all over. Oh. Normally I'm soaking now. Normally I'd use the gold one if I was going out. Oh, I just love it. I think after applying all the makeup on your face and everything, it just feels so nice to have that spray, and you can spray that all throughout the day just to revive your makeup. I love it, and I love doing this as well. Woo! So onto my eyelashes now. So that's my lashes done. I don't know what lashes I'm using. I wanted quite spidery type lashes, and yeah, I don't know what they are. They were just in my eyelash box. So yeah. Finish off by using a black eyeliner, this CRT one that I use in the outer corners here, just to go in my waterline underneath my lashes at the top. So this is my finished look. I've done my hair, I've got dressed or put on a different top, put a little bit of jewellery on, but I haven't got my rings or my bracelets or my necklace, so I am feeling a little bit naked as far as jewellery is concerned, because I normally have a ton of it on, but I'll be doing that afterwards. So this is my general YouTube type makeup. So not that it's much difference off of YouTube, it's exactly the same if I'm going out. If I'm at home, then I don't tend to wear any makeup anyway. But yeah, if I'm leaving the house, if I'm going shopping, I tend to do makeup looking like this. It tends to be a little bit more heavier if I've got like a special do to go to, or a meal or a night out or something. So yeah, but generally this is the type of look that you will see on my channel, and yeah, it's my most requested makeup looks. So I hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, it'd be lovely if you give me a big thumbs up, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel for lots more videos to come. So thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Bye.